Welcome to Commander Ramsey videos. In this particular video, it's a dual CV matchup, Tier 6 and Tier 5. I'm in the Russian CV, the Sirov. It's a strong CV for its tier, and I'll display what tactics I use here, as well as the weaknesses as well as the strengths of this carrier. I first send off my attack planes out to scout, and since there are two CVs, I tend to concentrate on the upper left hand portion of the map. That would be the northwest corner, relying upon my fellow friendly CV, the Ark Royal, to take the southeast side of the map. The good thing about the Russian squadrons, they send out small divisions. Here you can see there's only 6 planes, so you don't have to worry about dumping your ammunitions in the sea to conserve planes. The weakness, though, is if you like to do the top tier maneuver where you lay some torpedoes down in one direction and circle back 90 degrees to catch the ship at an angle to get some hits. You can't do that with the Russian CVs, because as soon as you deploy your armaments, the planes go back to the carrier, so you've only got a first strike capability, even though it's quite strong. Here, after getting boxed in by both carriers, I decided to go back after the cruiser here, and then take off in my torpedo bombers. Decided to head back out now that I've kind of gotten an idea where some of the enemy fleet is located. This game was in and around the holiday season between Christmas and New Year's. Some of my team, I think, were preoccupied with certain adult beverages, which probably hurt our chances here in the game, but I was going to give it my best, as I always do for my team, to try to spot as well as inflict damage on the enemy. Here I'm having to work around the fighter planes that have been deployed by the enemy carrier, so I'm trying to steer clear of that to save my planes. Occasionally I'll go through that fighter escort if I believe I've got a strong enough potential hit. Here I've got a battleship. I thought I could go ahead and deploy the torpedoes before the fighters take me out. Did manage to get some torpedoes away. Here you can see the enemy is, half of their fleet is really focused on the northwestern corner of the map. North always pointing straight up, of course. I go off with the skip bombers. I often find the skip bombers to be quite finicky as far as the damage that they can deploy upon the enemy. It's good to get a perfect 90-degree drop if you can. And sometimes you'll get a good hit. There was a good hit with 5 penetrations and 3 fires, unbelievable, on that one cruiser. But he deployed his repair party apparently, because the damage is stopped. Here I'm trying to get my carrier angled up, but one of my friendlies is kind of boxing me in, so that's the weakness in having to sail with carriers. You can only do one thing at a time, either fly the fleet or sail the ship. It's quite a bit more stressful than the other class ships, but it can be quite rewarding. Here I go after another cruiser, the Leander. British cruiser. Again, I can't use the top tier maneuvers, so, but I do manage, luckily I did get actually 5 hits, which kind of surprised me. He must have been sailing right in. But I'll take it. So I take off with my attack planes headed back toward the northwest corner. There's a concentration of ships up there and actually one flat top. So I'm going up to see what I can do. Not flat top, I'm sorry, it's a battleship. So I decided to go after him, see if I can inflict a fire on his superstructure. I head back to the carrier as quick as possible. I get 3 penetrations only and no fire, but not an empty trip. Probably circled back in my carrier a little farther than I needed to, but I was a little unsure on the enemy ship deployment there in sector A3, A2 and A3. I know there was a destroyer or maybe a submarine up in that corner, and even though I've got plenty of my teammates up there, you know, everybody wants to go after a CV if they get the chance. So going after the battleship again, this time with torpedoes. The Russian division here is quite powerful because you can lay down 5 torpedoes at once, which is unusual for Tier 6. I get 4 torpedo hits in. I decided to go off to the center of the map because I see another battleship, the New Mexico, is making progress, getting closer to our cap zone. So I thought I would help my teammates out and try to inflict a little damage here. The enemy carriers have not dropped fighters yet, so I have a chance to get in there and deploy my skip bombs. Slow-moving battleship is a really good target for the skip bombs, but sometimes they bounce off the torpedo protection. I get a little closer here to try to inflict some damage, and I get 2 fires started. That's probably about as good as you can hope for on a skip bomb drop. Get some penetrations and 2 or 3 fires. If you're lucky, you catch them after they've used their repair party, which is the case here. The New Mexico is flooding out, or maybe burning. I'm sorry. I think he's burning. So the damage starts to increase. I go back after him with my torpedoes, try and finish him off. See, he's got 2 fires going there, keeping the damage repair party busy. And I finish him off with the torpedoes. You can see we've got a submarine up there in sector A3, but I know I've got the Grasby up there who can handle, hopefully handle the submarine. So I begin to take off trying to find, I believe, the CV, or CVs. You can see on the mini-map the Ryujo, Japanese carrier, is somewhere out there. But I know there's a destroyer up in this region somewhere, so I decided I better probably try to spot him for my team if he's up here. You can see we're ahead right now, and it looks like we've got one ship margin there, but damage wise we're a little weak on our Bayhern and Grasby, so it's not as good as it looks. You notice both of our carriers are pretty close together. It's probably not the best strategy, but I think our Ark Royal had to move over. He was getting a little worried about the enemy penetration there down in the southeast corner of the mini-map. So I head off to find the enemy CVs, and there I've spotted the Ranger. But they blocked me here by dropping some attack fighters. So I circle back around, spring off the impenetrable map border, and swing back out, trying to keep him spotted if I can. I'm not sure any of our ships are quite in range yet, or being blocked by a mountain. Decide I'm going to swing back around here to the east side of the island. Anti-aircraft fire is trying to put some damage on me. I think I can swing over the island here and try to go after Ryojo. Or Ryujo. A good little T6 carrier, by the way. It's got some good torpedoes. So I launched my torpedoes there. Of course, he's coming back at me with a counterattack. I get a few torpedoes and a flood on him, but of course carriers have good repair parties, so the flood didn't last long. I send out my attack planes next. They have the fastest response. Excuse me. Here I see we've got a enemy cruiser coming in, going after our Ark Royal, so I try to provide him some benefit. He got a little too far down in our cap zone, got spotted. So I'm trying to provide some relief here. Get a fire and 8 penetrations on him. Here I see we've got one of our battleships is in trouble, the Bayhern. There's that pesky DD showed up. I don't know how I couldn't spot him earlier. He must have been really up in the northwest corner hiding. And Bayhern has spotted him. He probably went in for the attack on my battleship, so I go off after the DD. Unfortunately, I've got torpedoes with me, so the best I can probably do is restrict his movement, chase him a little bit. There I failed to drop because he had turned into me. But I'm spotting him, so my battleship put some damage on him. And the enemy carrier is attacking me. Meanwhile, I'm in a battle here to try to take out this DD with help from my battleship. Take back off with my torpedo planes. They've taken out the Ark Royal, and miraculously, all of a sudden, we're down 2 ships, and the lead is shifted to the enemy. Our team collapsed pretty quickly. So I'm still trying to save my battleship here, taking out this pesky DD. I thought I might could get a torpedo in on him here since he's on the borderline. I'm headed into that area because the enemy was making an attempt. I did get the kill on the DD with help from our battleship. So he's saved and our Grassberry is getting attacked, so I'm going to try to go help him, but it may be too little too late. With dual CVs, they can do a whole lot more damage on your friendly ships. I'm trying to get to him as soon as I can. Can't be 2 places at once in a CV. He's burning, unfortunately. I drop a plane there, but he comes out of the fighter carrier air patrol planes there that I placed to try to help protect him. I I shoot down quite a few planes in this battle, as you will see. I go off to look for the enemy CVs again. I've got skip bombs with me. If I can get one sideways, I might be able to start a fire. Ranger's coming up in view. Trying to get a 90-degree start on him. And there's the Japanese CV as well. Try to launch at maximum range to protect my planes, and unfortunately, while I wasn't paying attention, I do get a Citadel, which blew me away. I'm stuck in the forbidden zone, and when you get stuck in there, it's just about like being stuck in mud, like you run your ship aground. So I try to reverse the ship, but I notice in the meantime the enemy is capping our flag, so I've got to head off in that direction to try and stop him. The enemy CVs are attacking my battleship. So I've only got my one friendly and myself, and he's very low on health, so it's not looking good. Score-wise, I'm doing quite well, but that's kind of secondary to me. I'm always trying to help my team win the game. It helps, it's what the game should be, but also helps your XP, which helps a lot of things, commander XP and whatnot, to help build up your reserves and to help build up your commander. And my carrier's still stuck in the sandbar. I get a few hits on the battleship. For some reason my ship is not backing up. And try to reverse it and head off again. It doesn't take long for the enemy carriers to figure out where I'm at. That was my fault. I should have turned the ship and looped around into B and C1 and come around that way. But I didn't. I left myself wide open to enemy attack. Fortunately, I've got about 70% health. I wish Wargaming would give like a yellow zone or something, another map grid around it, so it gives you a little time to turn around. I go after with the battleship with my strike aircraft to try to knock the counter back in the cap zone. So my CV takes 2 direct hits back in the engine compartment and where my propellers and screws are located, which is not good. Trying to back up. I take off. I try to go in a angled direction, knowing the enemy's going to be back. I go ahead and set an extra fighter plane there. Which will force him to come in due east, which will be harder for him to hit my ship that way, unless he wants to lose planes. So I'm trying to head back to the enemy battleship here to hit him and keep restarting the cap. I don't give up. I try to keep pushing. You never know what can happen in this game. I've seen some miraculous comebacks before. But obviously the odds are really stacked against me. Here the enemy is coming back. I go ahead and set yet another fighter plane, so he's going to have to go through a lot of fighter activity there. And you can see I take out quite a few of his fighters and get AA Defense Expert. You can see my commander build at the end of this video, by the way, and you can see my strategy. I'm not the best player at CVs, but getting a little better. Top Tier is my coach, and I watch his videos and study his tactics. I'm going after the enemy battleship here again to get some extra points. He's getting within the fire range of me now, so I'm in real trouble. Take out some more of the enemy planes. You can see the count now is well up over 40 planes now taken out from the enemy. But as usual, I'll run out of time. I think I could have inflicted a little more damage, but obviously the odds were against me. Couldn't quite carry the team. We melted away probably from holiday spirits, but hey, it was a fun battle. Here's the ship build for the Sirov. No magical selections there. You can see it's heavily focused on torpedoes, which are one of the strongest suits of the Russian CVs. And also you can see my signal build here at the bottom. And at the end of the video here, I'll show you my commander build. And then I'll be uploading this to YouTube shortly. Here's the signals I use, typical in my CV battles. And my current commander, Tier 6, he's not a unique or seasoned commander, but I do have 19 skill points, actually 20, but I'm waiting to get the 21st. You can see there I use the bonus flags to gain as much commander XP as possible, so I can move those commander skills up quicker. And here's the magic build for the ship. Most of these are fairly common, but notice up in the top row, the aircraft carrier there, anytime the carrier launches a defense plane, it actually launches two. So when I get attacked at my carrier, they have to go through a couple different fighters, which makes it really difficult. You're going to lose planes that way. And you can see the high count of enemy planes that I shot down during the battle was well over 40. And for Tier 6, that's quite good. I hope you've enjoyed the battle, and perhaps it'll help you when you're playing your Russian Sirov Tier 6 carrier. There's that skill, the Direction Center for Fighters skill. It adds an additional aircraft when the aircraft carriers fighters are launched. So this is Commander Ramsey. Thanks for tuning in, and hearty salute and a Happy New Year. Oh, by the way, one last thing. I do use blue camo in an attempt to blend into the sea. I do think that possibly helps at distance. So that's just an FYI. Take care.